innovation, resilience, agility. It's how Michigan businesses work together and continue to build the future. Our expertise, talented workforce, and collaborative environment are making a difference now and shaping the future. Join us and make your mark where it matters. Visit michiganbusiness.org/radio to put your plans in motion. That's michiganbusiness.org/radio.
Just that everyone knows the system. It's not necessarily an easy system, so when you get here, it might take maybe a full year for you to understand certain things. So us all being on the same page and able to play fast is really the key. I'd say about last year where I finally played a full season, I'd say I felt as comfortable as I've ever been and even carried it on to this year. You know, really just being in the system for a while really has helped me.
That is Taron Johnson. He was on the show with us yesterday. If you missed the interview, it is available in on-demand audio, WGR550.com. It is Football Friday. One of the things we do on Football Friday is improve the game plan. You know, we do our best here at WGR just to help out. That's the kind of team players we are. We improve the game plan brought to you by Bathfitter. Improve your bath in one day with Bathfitter. It just fits. BathfitterBuffalo.com. Throw the ball. It's very two things, if you really want to make it simple. Don't let their defensive line wreck the game plan. You do have to. That is the strength of their defense, even though it has not performed at a level that most people anticipated the first two games. That's where it all starts with the Bills. Montez Sweat and Chase Young on the edges, and Jonathan Allen in the middle. He's got 3 sacks, 6 quarterback hits because I think teams are paying attention to Young and Sweat. So they've got 3 guys up front that you really need to make sure don't destroy your day. Because if you do that, guess what? They're susceptible in coverage. They're linebackers, they're DBs. They've had some issues so far this season. They're breaking in some new guys in the secondary. One of their linebackers is a rookie who's talented, but he's struggling with the transition to the pro game. So you can make some plays in the passing game. Opponents have completed 67% of their passes, averaging 281 yards. The Washington defense has 1 pick in 79 passes. They give up 7.4 yards per attempt. If you care about Pro Football Focus, some of you do, some of you don't. For what it's worth, William Jackson is their number 1 cornerback. According to Pro Football Focus, he has the worst grade of any player on Washington's defense so far. And this isn't necessarily about passing, but one of the other issues they've had is getting upfield on third down. Opponents have completed 58% on third down efficiency through the first 2 games. And the last thing to bring up, to the point about defensive line, it'll be interesting to see what Brian Daboll does. First week against Pittsburgh, a lot of 4 and 5 receiver sets. Last week in Miami, it was back to more of the 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, the tight end, and a back. The Washington defense, because of those guys up front, the Washington defense has faced the second most pass protections of 6 blockers or more. So we'll see. The Giants did use their tight end to chip Chase Young whenever possible. When he wasn't lined up opposite Nate Solder, they trusted Solder to handle him one-on-one. But the Chargers and the Giants, a lot of extra protection, at least a 6th guy, if not more, to help protect against that defensive line. We'll see what Brian Daboll does with that. I don't know what his plan is for Sunday. But anyway, that's it. In a nutshell, the game plan is make sure the guys up front don't destroy your passing game because you should be able to have a good day against their linebackers and their defensive backs. That's the deal on Washington so far. That is improving the game plan. Brought to you again by Bathfitter. Improve your bath in one day with Bathfitter. It just fits. BathfitterBuffalo.com. I
like it. You make a lot of sense. You've done some homework.
No, I steal it from other people's articles, basically. No, I honestly, it's really there's a. No, I'm not going to use Pittsburgh. It's not. Pittsburgh's a better defense, but it's very much, I think it really, if you want to boil it down, it's very simple. Their guys up front, don't let them wreck your guys up front.
Yeah.
That's very much old school, but I think that is the key to this game against Washington. I'm not worried about the Bills' defense matching up against Taylor Heineke. Yes, Terry McLaurin's a very good receiver. Antonio Gibson has done well this season. He's got a good yards per carry. And Logan Thomas has turned out to be a really nice tight end. And you said about Heineke, it's a small sample size. I like what I've seen from Taylor Heineke. He can throw the ball. He's got good legs. But really, that matchup, I'm not to me, this game really does come down to the Bills are the better football team. Make sure their guys up front just don't kill your offense. And if that's the case, I think they'll have success. And we brought up their run defense hasn't been very good in the first 2 games either. So maybe Singletary has a good day on Sunday. I think that's really it. It's very simple. Don't let them really mess up your offensive line. So Dawkins, they moved Chase Young around. I think he was mostly on the left side against the Giants. So Darrell Williams, do your best here, buddy. Feliciano inside against Allen. And if it's Sweat on the other side, then, Dawkins. Did I say Darrell again or Dion? Anyway, sorry, it's an old NBA thing. Dion Dawkins against Montez Sweat. I think it really boils down to those guys up front giving Josh some time.
Heineke is interesting. Again, he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have a large sample size. He's been all over the place with the Vikings, the Patriots, the Texans, the Panthers, the St. Louis Battlehawks.
The legendary St. Louis Battlehawks.
And the Washington football team. So, he played at Old Dominion, undrafted free agent in 2015. I'm not saying that I disagree. I've never heard more people say, I like insert name here, about a guy with 2 games who's
why?
a journeyman who's...
It's very simple. It's the Tampa playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, it really comes... My watching Taylor, what's St. Louis? Is that XFL or Alliance, or which one was that?
I think it's the XFL, the Battlehawks.
I probably would have seen him play in the league at some point. I might have seen them play. Anyway, really, a lot of this is the Tampa game I watched and then the first half of the Giants game. He's not the biggest guy in the world. That's part of the concern with Heineke, by the way. If he gets hit, he's not like Josh Allen big. So, they're worried that he could be susceptible to getting hurt because he's not a big, strong guy, right? He does tend to throw the ball high. So there are some flaws, obviously. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world either.
What I want to get to is exactly that. So here's a guy who he played at Old Dominion. He's bounced around practice squads. Granted, he played a playoff game at home for the Washington football team. I get that. He went in his first action against the Panthers. That's Week 16. Dwayne Haskins is benched, and Heineke goes in, does okay, plays a playoff game against Tampa. Again, earned some fans there. Played against the Giants and was either good or scattershot. A little bit of both.
Well, the first drive, he was incredibly scattershot. They went 3 and out. The second drive, they go on a touchdown drive, and I think he hit McLaurin 4 or 5 times.
But a lot of those passes were not exactly in choice A position. So what I would count on Sunday is first career road start. Emotions getting up a bit. Can't hear, can't communicate.
Maybe the ball's going to sail. A little bit extra juice.
If there's any wind or breeze, if your ball sails, and the secondary that this team has,
right?
I think it's a real. Where's a prop bet on Hyde or Poyer getting a pick? I think the ball's going to be available once or twice because, that's the thing about in that one game. It's only one game, so when you say he misses high, okay, if that's the scouting report. In that one game, that Giants game, it was nice throw. Oh my God, where's that one going? Nice throw. Oh, geez, nice catch by McLaurin. That was off. Right. So it's not exactly like this is a precision passer, at least not yet. And what a story though to go from practice squad to starter.
Yeah, and to be in the XFL.
How many guys have ever done that? Not just street free agent picked up, but practice, picked up on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Undrafted free agent goes to 5 different teams, gets picked up on a practice squad. If the Bills picked up a practice squad guy during the drought, it wouldn't even make the paper.
Yeah. He's got a little bit, a little bit of fits, I guess, really. Like an underdog story. You wouldn't really think of him as he wasn't a high draft pick or any of that stuff. And I think that's how the story is playing out in Washington. It's very much so. He's a tough kid. He'll hang in the pocket. He'll be, he'll try and make some aggressive throws. His teammates love him. Good leader, all that stuff. But again, that's why I said I'm not worried about their offense. Really, I'm not worried about Antonio Gibson. The Bills' run defense. Yeah, I guess if Starr doesn't play Sunday, maybe we'd think about that a little bit. But the Bills' run defense has been good, really good in the first 2 games. Pittsburgh, Miami, nobody has run the ball so far. So I'm not worried about their offense. Really, I don't think their offense is going to have much success against the Bills' defense, which looks fantastic through the first 2 games. It is all about what happens with Josh Allen. the passing game. How does Josh look? He talked this week about, they talked about how he was a little down earlier in the week. He's getting on his own case because he's not playing that well. He admitted he's talking about how he's not playing that great the first 2 games, how maybe he's not coming off his read quick enough. We pointed out Joe Biscaglia's piece about how, for whatever reason, he's throwing very much so to his left and almost ignoring the right side of the field through the first 2 games. So this will come down to how does he look? What's the offensive line do? And you said it earlier, too. You would look at this matchup on paper and say, well as Pittsburgh and Miami have done, limiting the chunk pass plays, especially with Diggs. Diggs had the 41-yarder, right? Sanders had a big pass play last week. But those 2 teams have done a good job of limiting the chunk plays. This game would seem to be a game where you can hit those plays against that secondary. As long as Josh isn't under siege on most of his dropbacks, you should be able to get chunk plays. The matchup that favors you the most is your receiving group against that secondary.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a battle of, obviously, quarterbacks that can move. We have a text that writes in, I like this point, about Heineke. I mean,
he can move.
We've talked about Allen and how he should have opportunities based on how well Daniel Jones ran the ball against Washington.
Sure.
So Allen should. Texter writes in, as we connect with our fans, brought to you by Bond, Shenick & King, a full-service Buffalo law firm, that Heineke has that Tannehill, Bortles athleticism that seems to give the Bills defense fits under McDermott. And I don't have the numbers of, mobile quarterbacks and what they do when plays break down, but it does stick out to me. The playoff game they lost the very first year. It's a totally different team. I get that. But it's still McDermott's defense, and the secondary's the same, and they've overhauled their defensive line. Bortles runs all over them.
Right.
The reason they lose that game is because Bortles...
Didn't he have almost 100 yards in that game?
I think so. And Tannehill has scrambled on them very effectively as well. So I think that's a fair point, that if there's... I'm not saying it's like a kryptonite, but if there's something that Heineke might be able to do, if he can move a little bit, guys that extend plays, they probably do it to every defense. But I would say that there have been some quarterbacks that have been able to do that against the Bills' defense.
And I think, look, Logan Thomas is a good weapon. He really is. I mean, you probably do remember him, Bills fans, when he was here. He's turned out to be a guy who's got a good pair of hands and can win one-on-one battles. But I would tell you again, I'm not really worried about that matchup. They're not facing Kelsey. And I think whether it's Milano or whether it's one of the safeties, I think their ability to cover Logan Thomas will be good enough in this game that I don't think he would have that big a day against them. I know this is where Bills fans will somehow remind us, guys, we traditionally don't do well against tight ends. I don't have the numbers in front of me to say yes or no, you might be right, or that's just perception.
I'm going to try and find out which franchise does the worst of all time
tight ends
against tight ends.
Right? Isn't it something that always comes, guys, the Bills don't do well against tight ends. Or is it just tight ends named, Gronkowski or Kelsey? So anyway, I think they'll be able to keep Logan Thomas in check. And there is one other, McLaurin is the big name for sure. There is one other guy, De'Ami Brown, a wide receiver, rookie, right? Really fast. Said to be a really dynamic rookie, a really good route runner, incredible speed. So I'll just throw that name out there as well. But again, McLaurin first and foremost, that's the guy you don't let crush you on Sunday if you're the Bills.
I will tell you the Bills finished second worst in yards given up to tight ends last year.
But I guess they are correct with that stuff.
But this is what we do with football. Is it the same thing as their offense? Yeah. Where, they don't throw to the tight end that much because they have such good receivers. Do other teams throw to the tight end because, the Bills' corners and their secondary is obviously a strength.
Right. So you would throw less to your wide receiver, perhaps.
But almost 1,000 yards to tight ends last year.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Thomas is going to be have a big game against the Bills on Sunday. I like a lot about the matchup defensively against them. Brayton, you got the trivia music ready to go? All right. No, from time to time on the show, we do a little quarterback trivia, right? We talk about, historically or in recent history, the team's quarterbacks. And I wasn't really going to do this with Washington, but there was something I saw last week prior to the Giants game. I think it was ESPN, did some piece about how they basically ranked Washington quarterbacks going back to, it might have been their Super Bowl teams in the early 90s. We're not going that far back. It's too much research for me, quite honestly. But we are going to go, again, this is Washington quarterbacks have had at least one start. We're going back to 2010, okay? So the last decade and the current team, we're talking Washington football team quarterbacks who have had at least one start back to the 2010 season. There are 14 players on this list, boys.
All right.
14 of them.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is absolutely correct.
RG3.
RG3,
Fitz.
very good. Hold on. I'm trying to get caught up here. Where's Kirk Cousins on my list? Got it. Okay.
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith.
Jason Campbell.
He's not on the list. I think that's pre-2010.
Yeah.
Oh, 2010.
You got.
Okay.
We said Fitz, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't forget the other guy right now.
Heineke, yeah.
Yep.
He's on the
Heineke.
list, of course. All right, that's good. You got 5 down. 9 to go.
9 more.
9 more.
9 more.
You had better get the first guy on this list. Where'd you go to
Donovan
college?
McNabb.
Thank
Yeah, he
you
played-
very
I
much.
forgot he played there for a
13
year.
starts in 2010. I forgot too. Very good.
Yep.
You want years? You want clues?
I want
let
to
me
think.
know.
I want to just think for a minute. Mm-hmm. I want to think.
Thinking's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
I should try it more often.
One of the more irrelevant teams for
Absolutely. That's
that
why
decade.
This list is yikes.
Is there a McCown?
There is not a McCown.
I'm legally. I have to
Yes.
ask.
but,
we have
but
to.
there is a guy who he
Is-
doesn't
is-
have a brother, but he has played on just about every NFL
Josh
team.
Johnson.
Josh Johnson's on this list. 3 starts in 2018.
Is there a Heward?
There is not a Heward.
Okay, no Heward.
Oh my goodness, that's good.
All right.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Other-
7. You're halfway home.
Rex Grossman.
He is indeed.
Oh, I thought he would have been
Rex
before
Grossman.
2010.
16 starts in 2010 and 2011 over 2 seasons.
goodness.
Very good.
All right.
Okay.
I'm happy about
Nice
that
pull on that
I'm
one.
ha-
That was a nice pull.
I'm going to walk out feeling
Yes,
good.
sir.
Man.
That's good.
Man, you pulled that, and I tried pulling Jason Campbell earlier, and apparently he didn't start before. Okay.
You know,
Yeah, I'm a very
his line- Brock Osweiler didn't play for them, did he?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Okay, in no particular order, this quarterback was the second winningest quarterback in college football history. Got to Washington in 2014.
Troy Smith.
No. 6 years with Washington, was with Cleveland, the Niners, the Giants. He's now in Arizona. Would have played his collegiate career at the University of Texas.
Colt McCoy.
Very good.
Yeah.
This guy really had the cup of coffee. Let's see. He would have had 1 start in 2018. Much more well known around these parts for his time in the AFC East.
Brian Hoyer.
No, connected with a very famous fumble.
Oh, Mark
Sanchez.
This guy played in Washington, but is journeyman guy, best known for his career year in 2017 in Minnesota. Had the season of his life.
Case Keenum.
The next guy was actually Washington's first-round pick in 2019.
Dwayne Haskins.
The next guy
right.
had 4 starts with them last season. However, more well-known for his time in Carolina in 2018 and 2019, where he got 13 starts. I think he would have faced the Bills somewhere in there. I'll have to
was
double
that
check.
one more time?
Carolina Panthers, 13 starts, 2018, 2019, goes over to Washington, had 4 starts
Cam
last
Newton.
season. Same last name as the Bills quarterback.
Oh,
Oh,
Kyle Allen.
Allen.
This last guy you were never going to get.
Oh, we're going to get it.
You're
We're gonna
never.
get it. We're gonna get it.
Okay, fine. We'll do. I wish I had. We'll do stepladder clues. You know. Anyway, okay. This guy had 3 starts in 2011. He was originally a second-round draft pick from the Miami Dolphins in 2007.
Pat White.
Pat White.
No, we're not including elite college programs in this discussion. He played for Miami, Baltimore, Washington, Houston, and then went to the CFL. However, his claim to fame was his successful college career at Brigham Young University.
Oh, BYU.
Let me go to his Wikipedia page to try and find more. Hold on a second.
Oh, I did this for Guess the Prospect the one time, and you guys got super mad at me. Who is this
Who's
guy?
this guy? BYU second round pick. John Beck.
John Beck.
He threw
That's
an interception here on Monday Night Football or Sunday. He threw an interception
Who was he playing with? Was he in?
with the Dolphins. He played for the Dolphins here. It's not Monday Night Football. Was it a Thursday night game?
Thursday.
He started.
It probably
he
was
got
the
a
Thursday night
game.
Spiller game.
Chris Kelsey pick 6 like in the end zone.
Yeah. Bad.
Like I want to say Kelsey caught it in the end zone and put his feet down. It was a touchdown. I'm like, it might have been like 2 yards.
Was that when Spiller was here? Wasn't there a Thursday night game they beat Miami when Spiller was had a big game? Or was that after John Beck with the Dolphins?
John Beck, October 30th, 2011. 9 sacks, 2 picks.
Ugh.
23 to
9 sacks. 9 sacks.
Yeah, that was the Spiller game, right?
Wait a minute. This might have been with Washington.
23 to no, it wasn't. It was like 23 to 9 or something. I don't know. I think it was the Spiller game.
Well, one thing I did not expect to do today was pull up John Beck game logs, but here we are. No, okay. That's his game log in 2011 with Washington. The Bills beat Washington 23 to nothing. That's not the game I'm thinking of. Maybe it was not John.
There was a Thursday night win over Miami at home.
Okay, in 2007, John Beck played with Miami. The Bills won that game 38 to 17.
That's a different game.
That's December 9th, 2007. He got sacked once. He did not get picked off. He just appeared in that game. Who's the Chris Kelsey pick six?
Cowboys?
I guess.
Or was that
the Monday night game?
Yeah, that had to have been
Cowboys
Chris
Monday
Kelsey.
night game. Yeah, right.
It wasn't Ryan Denny. Ryan Denny got the touchdown against the Seahawks on the fake field goal.
Kelsey was the Monday night game against Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Let me go find that.
Yeah, had to have been.
That 2011 John Beck game because I feel like it's going to bother me.
Isn't it fun when the show takes an unanticipated turn into the John Beck game log? I mean, I had it on my list of things to get to today, but apparently nobody else
No
did.
Defensive touchdowns in that game. Just 2 Scott Chandler touchdowns.
Just 2 Scott Chandler touchdowns. Like that was a regular occurrence.
Okay. Now, you ready? Here's the payoff. Bills, Washington, 23 to nothing. 9 sacks.
Toronto? No, not Toronto game?
Bills moved to 5-2. Toronto
Fitz
game.
got hurt. Fitz took a shot to the ribs, I think, in that game.
Yep, it's Toronto.
Oh, that's why. See, you blocked out all the Toronto games.
John Beck played the Toronto game.
Oh, yuck.
All right. I guess I am mixing up that was a Tony Romo pick six.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's getting older.
Yeah. We all are.
Aren't we all?
Brain space. 803-0550.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I have to stop thinking about the Eichel thing because I need space in my brain for anything else.
That's right. I'm telling you. 803-0550 to join us. It is Football Friday. Bills fans want to hear from you. Let's talk about how you're feeling about Sunday's game. Who's got to come up big for Buffalo? Where do you think the big edges are for the Bills in this matchup on Sunday? Football Friday on WGR is brought to you by Buffalo-style chicken logs from Original Pizza Logs, official finger food of the Buffalo Bills, and by Corona Hard Seltzer, an official seltzer of the Buffalo Bills.
Innovation, resilience, agility. It's how Michigan businesses continue to work together to make a difference now and shape the future. Join us and make your mark where it matters. Visit michiganbusiness.org/radio.
So bad that it's hard to tone down that aspect when I expect something out of myself and something I can do and I do regularly in practice, and I've shown it. And there's sometimes, obviously there's a couple times in the games where I've missed and, maybe letting it affect me too much. So, the best quarterbacks are the ones that can forget about the previous play and move on to the next. And guys make mistakes, guys make missed throws. It's how we bounce back from it that makes us who we are, and that's what we're looking forward to do. I'm excited to get out there on Sunday and get the ball to our guys.
Josh Allen and the Bills hosting
USA.
Look at you.
Thomas and Spieth, 1 up through 2.
You're funny. Josh Allen and the Bills hosting Washington, and of course we're talking about it all morning with you on Football Friday, 803-0550. You can hear the game on WGR with Sal on the sidelines, and then upstairs in the broadcast booth, Eric Wood and John Murphy. Mr. Murphy joining us right now, brought to you by Sullivan's Brewing Company from Ireland to Buffalo, the best ales in the world, by Dunn Tire, official tire of the Buffalo Bills, and by Northwest Bank, increasing the value of you. Happy Football Friday. John, how are you?
I'm well. I like Jeremy, I'm watching the Ryder Cup. It's only been on for 25 minutes and going. It's compelling already. It's amazing. I love the Ryder Cup.
And the visuals. John, how about this course? This course looks stunning.
Yeah, I've heard about this course a lot. Yeah, everybody's heard about this course. I know some people who've played it. I was talking to a guy yesterday who played it, and he said that the TV doesn't even do it justice when you get there. It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right, so what's been the most compelling part in 20 minutes?
Just how competitive. I just like the crowd is so into it.
Yeah.
I can't believe how cold it looks. I mean, it must be freezing. People in ski caps and everything, right? It's amazing.
Yeah. It is beautiful scenery with the water the cliffs. They had a shot of a guy putting out. There's boats in the background out on the water. It's gorgeous. Yeah, we got it on here in the. We're paying attention to the show, but I'm just saying we got it on the TV here in the studio. All right, Murph. I guess let me go big picture. What are you thinking? Washington. I mean, you think about any team from the NFC East last year, you wouldn't necessarily be like worried about the matchup, but there are some things to get into that can make this a difficult game. So let me start bigger picture. What are you thinking Sunday about Washington as an opponent?
Yeah, can I be perfectly honest? When the week began, and even as recent as Wednesday, I thought this is not an easy game, but a game the Bills should definitely get. And then the more I look at Washington, in particular their game last week, their victory last week, I'm thinking, well, there could be some problems here just because they've got a great collection of talent, especially on the defensive line. I still think the Bills will win, and I think the Bills are favorites, and they should be favorites. They could win comfortably, but I just think Washington is, they only won 7 games a year ago. They did win that crazy NFC East, but they compete well, and they had a really interesting win against the Giants a week ago. They've got the long week coming in. I don't think they're going to roll over, and I guess I never thought they would roll over, but I think they're a decent team. I think the Bills will win.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000,000% because I when the line came out earlier in the week and Jeremy said it's 9.5, I thought, ooh, that's a big line because I think it is a difficult game. But it's funny, Murph, if you look at the matchup, offense, defense, special teams, break everything down. Honestly, there's nothing about Washington that would scare you other than their defensive line.
Yeah, and it's a really good defensive line loaded with first-round picks. I always loved Montez Sweat when he came out in the draft a couple of years ago, and Jonathan Allen's been a good player now in his third year, and Chase Young, played almost MVP caliber last year at defensive end. And let's face it, the Bills' offensive line struggled 2 weeks ago against Pittsburgh, so that's the matchup that has me most concerned, pass protection and running game. And I think the run game has a little bit to do with how the Bills do. I think last Sunday in Miami, they got a little bit back towards the type of mix they need, pass versus run. I know they're a predominant passing team, and they should be with the talent they have, but they need to have an effective running game. And can they do it against that Washington front four? We'll find out. I think they should be able to, but I don't think it's a guarantee.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We were saying earlier, I didn't see their Chargers game, Murph, but I saw a good chunk of their game against the Giants. And as much as the story out of Washington is that their secondary is struggling right now, well, so are their linebackers. And the Giants had success, whether it was Saquon Barkley or Daniel Jones. They had success running the football against Washington.
Yeah, and the Bills need to run it. Again, the Bills are a passing team. As I said, that's where Buffalo's strength is. So they will probably come out passing, but they do need to run it and run it effectively when they do run, for controlling the clock primarily and just to not let teams cheat and play pass all the time. We'll see. I agree with you. The secondary is a question mark. I mean, I love Landon Collins, their safety. When he played with the Giants and first came into the league, it seems like a long time ago. He's only in his 7th year, but I've watched the one game. I plan on watching their loss to the Chargers today, but he just seems to have lost a lot, and now in his 7th year in the league. I thought when he came into the league with the Giants a few years ago, he was like a great player in the making, and he really hasn't been. So we'll see. I think the numbers show that the Washington football team doesn't have a great defense, but the people they have, in particular up front, indicates that they could be really good.
And then it'll be interesting. We were talking earlier about how Brian Dable approaches this game plan, Murph. Like, when they rush 4, will he be good saying, all right, I got 5, you got 4. I'll take my 5 against your top 4, even though they're really talented? Because I saw a stat that Washington has faced. They faced the second most pass protections of 6 blockers or more. So the Chargers and the Giants have tried to keep at least one extra blocker in. Would Dable try and do that? Do you just chip a guy and go, Sweat or Young? Or, I'm a little curious about what he thinks he has to do in terms of pass protection, and what does he have to do in terms of maybe helping out his offensive line?
Yeah, I am too. And again, basically because of what happened in Week 1 against Pittsburgh when they got a great pass rush with just a 4-man rush, right? Does Washington have that capability? On paper, the people they have, the draft positions they have up front indicate that they do have that capability. And look, that was a kind of a disaster up front for the Bills, the offensive line of the Bills against the Steelers' defensive front. And I'm curious to see how Brian Daboll plays it now this week. It'll be interesting, really, to see.
One storyline we won't be seeing, unfortunately, is Ryan Fitzpatrick facing the Bills, Murph. And I think, when he got to Washington and we looked at it and thought, I know I did, even with Prescott coming back, hey, Washington's got a shot at winning that division, and wouldn't that be cool? Fitzpatrick could finally be in the playoffs, and don't you know it, he goes and gets hurt in week 1.
Yeah. That's too bad. I really like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's one of the really best people I've ever encountered in all the years I've been around the NFL, and I always root for him, and it's unfortunate. And I don't know what to make of Taylor Heineke. Just, once he got 3 NFL starts, there's just not enough there to have a definitive opinion about him. He played okay last week in Washington's win. I got to go back and watch more. I watched a little bit. I got to watch more of their playoff game a year ago, even though it's a different team, because I think he played all right last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So I want to know more about him. I think his career, now he's in his 7th year, but kind of his career is just getting started. And who knows? He might play well enough, not necessarily Sunday, but he might play well enough in the future that they don't even worry about Ryan Fitzpatrick at his return.
He did play well in that game, Murph. I thought he made some really clutch pressure throws, considering they're going up against Brady, and a really good defense. So I think you'll actually enjoy watching that game back. When they're on offense, is it first and foremost, make sure Terry McLaurin doesn't have a day and a half against you?
Yeah, he's their biggest weapon for sure. And other than him, receiving-wise, they don't have a whole lot going on. De'Ame Brown is a third-round pick who's done some good things in their first few games. But the passing game isn't really scary for them. I think, I also, is a good guy, Logan Thomas, who's their tight end, who was here in Buffalo when he was just making the conversion to tight end after playing quarterback at Virginia Tech. And he's a talented player. He can get downfield. I don't know how much help he is in their run game, but he's definitely a pass receiving threat, and he can create some problems for the Bills, I think. Logan Thomas, number 82.
Well, have a good call Sunday. Enjoy the Ryder Cup, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Murph with us on the Wester Hotline, brought to you by Sullivan's Brewing Company, from Ireland to Buffalo, the best ales in the world, by Dunn Tire, official tire of the Buffalo Bills, and by Northwest Bank, increasing the value of you. 7 o'clock Sunday morning, our coverage starts. Breakfast with the Bills. 8 o'clock game day. 10 o'clock countdown to kickoff. It is a 1 o'clock game on TV. If you're looking forward, again, it is on Fox this week. Post-game show would show up with the Bulldog around 4 or 4:30 like last week. Overtime show with Nate Geary. That is our Bills coverage on Sunday. All right. Go ahead. When we get back, you wanted to do another
a little more Ryder Cup stuff.
Update,
Yeah,
right?
I've got a couple cool things to mention. Yeah.
And also, we're talking about the Bills game, of course, 803-0550. How are you feeling about the game Sunday? Think it'll be a tough game, an easy game? Who's got to come up big for Buffalo? Where do you think are the biggest edges for them in terms of the matchups? We're kicking it all around all morning long. Make sure you let TRS Heating and Air Conditioning intercept your heating bills this football season. Just visit WGR550.com. Look for the TRS Heating and Air Conditioning Intercept Your Heating Bills contest link. Click on it and then enter for a chance to win $1,200 towards your home heating bills this winter. At the end of the pro football regular season, one lucky winner will be randomly selected from all entries to win.
Ryder Cup story for you with a Bills tie-in. So, of course, it's always this time of year. Justin Leonard's 1999 Ryder Cup putt at Brookline. I remember that. I'm a sophomore I'm a junior. I'm a junior in college. Mm-hmm. And that's a Sunday. Right?
U.S. won that one, right?
That was a massive comeback for the U.S.
Yes,
it was.
They were down a whatever.
Yeah.
I do remember, because Brookline, I remember it.
The battle at Brookline.
But I don't remember the putt you're referring to. But yes,
you don't remember the Justin Leonard putt?
I do not remember
man,
the Justin
it
Leonard
is.
putt. I remember them coming back from a big deficit.
It is. He hits a bomb putt that basically means the U.S. is going to win. A 40-footer for birdie. The unlikely birdie sends the American team into a frenzy. The team, their wives, cameramen run onto the green to hug Justin Leonard. Allegedly, a cameraman stepped in Jose Maria Olazábal's line. But it gave Leonard one up with one to play, which meant the U.S. was going to get the half point they needed to win the Ryder Cup. So it was basically the day builds up to that moment.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. is winning match after match after match, and then Justin Leonard hits that bomb of a putt, and the U.S. wins.
Yeah, I'm watching it again. Go ahead.
Yes. I remember watching that. It was an incredible moment. Anyway, so that's 1999. I'm in college, and two of my friends from Syracuse had come to Buffalo that day for a Bills game because it's a Sunday, right? Making a trip. September 26th, 1999. I'm going to ask you if you remember anything about this game.
Not.
I mean, the 99 Bills, right? They were fun.
Yeah.
They beat the Eagles that day. It's Bills 26, Eagles nothing. Man. So I don't know if you have anything on that. The Bills moved to 2-1.
Wade would have been here, right? Wade Phillips was coaching. Marvin retired. 99 game against the Eagles.
1999. The Bills.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Doug Flutie goes 18 of 26 for 175 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Alex Van Pelt threw a pass. Rob Johnson threw 2 passes. Bunch of field goals from Steve Christie. Jay Reamersma touchdown. Antoine Smith touchdown. 26-0. Anyway, so the story I just wanted to tell you was this is the kind of thing that never happens anymore, or it's really tough for this to happen. My two friends that came to the Bills game were big golf fans.
Right.
And they did not want to know what happened in the Ryder Cup. We're going to go to the game. We're going to come home. Yeah. We're not going to hear about it. We're going to tape it.
There's no Twitter.
There's no Twitter, right? We're going to
Yeah, you
go.
could pull that off back then.
Back then, 1999, you could pull it off and go
Agreed.
radio dark. We're not going to find out anything goes on with this match. So they get home. We have seen it. We know what happens. They walk in. Don't anybody say anything. Don't say anything. So they
no facial expressions, nothing.
No, not going to say anything. So they go in to watch, take the tape out or whatever, rewind it. It had to be VHS at the time.
Of course, yeah, right.
Or DV.
No. Was TiVo around maybe?
Yeah, it would have been
okay,
TiVo.
I don't think it would have been.
It would have been TiVo.
Right, I was thinking it was
It had
VHS.
to have been TiVo.
All right.
So anyway, the two of them, they go in, they shut the door, and all right. The problem is, nobody told them what happened. The comebacks happening, is that when Justin Leonard walks onto that green, 3 or 4 people gather around the room.
Oh, you wanted to see the reaction.
Right.
Yeah. I would have done the same thing.
Right.
Totally would.
So
I wouldn't have said anything, but I would have tipped it by going in. Right.
They didn't quite pick up on it, but after it happens,
Yep.
My buddy Andy's like, I got the feeling it was going in when you guys started to gather around to watch it.
I thought maybe they would have said, why are you guys coming in right now?
Yeah. I think that was back of their minds.
So you would have thought, oh man, something's going to happen. And you would have thought it would have been good, right? Because why would they come in to see a guy miss a long putt? That's funny. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I would have been good about not telling them, but I absolutely wanted to be there to see their reaction to that putt.
Yeah. The Ryder Cup, of course, it's team golf.
You can't pull that off now, by the way. It's so hard to not know what happened in something that big.
It's very hard to.
Really hard.
So 2 things I wanted to tell you about that are also beautiful when it comes to this kind of thing. First off, the reaction to that 1999 Ryder Cup, and then the other thing. So at Wikipedia, I'm looking at all of the stories that were written about the Americans' behavior. Several members of the European team were critical of the actions of the U.S. team.
Yeah.
Colin Montgomery said his father left the course because of abuse. Mark James said a fan spit at his wife. Andrew Coulthard's caddy said a course marshal hid Coulthard's ball for 5 minutes, resulting in a penalty.
I feel like you're not supposed to do that.
Vice Captain Sam Torrance stated many of those who had run onto the green over Olazabal's putting line and further singled out Tom Lehman's behavior, ready for this, on the final day as disgusting for someone who calls himself a man of God.
Wow, we're playing the religion card. Boy, that's out of control.
It's intense.
Yeah, that's...
American
Cup.
American newspapers were critical of their side. The Washington Post stated it seems an American team can't get through an international competition without acting like jackasses at some point.
That's why I feel it's more us than European.
This would have been on the heels of the U.S. hockey team maybe trashing rooms in '99
in Japan, right? In '98 was that the '98 Olympics in Japan?
Yeah. So anyway,
you might be right about that. Yeah, right. I think it was '98 in Japan.
The other thing about events like this that can be a lot of fun is conceding. When you concede a putt,
right?
That's good from there. That's good. This is the highest level of match play golf that really there is. It's team play. It's international, and they're the best golfers in the world. And if somebody's got a 18-inch putt,
you don't concede anything. That's
If you don't give it to them,
right? Make them make it. It's the Ryder Cup. I feel like you make them make it.
And that's where it gets kind of fun.
It's not a pro-am.
It's where it gets fun, though, because can you believe that he wouldn't give me that?
Yeah, that's good.
And it's
do you look at the guy like, you're supposed to concede the putt to me right now?
He wouldn't.
That's funny.
The nerve of that guy?
And you're like, go ahead, make it.
I get it.
Buddy.
And then later on in the match, like, you can put that out, oh.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Good stuff.
8:03. It is Football Friday, by the way. 8:03-0550 to join us. We're talking Bills, Washington. We get connected with our fans. Brought to you by Bond Shannick and King, a full-service Buffalo law firm. How you feeling about Sunday's game? Who has to come up big for Buffalo? Where are their edges? Where are you concerned? Peter tweeted in, Dawkins and Williams are going to be tested big time by Washington's ends. Montez Sweat, Chase Young, he is referring to. Washington's D-line is one of the best. This will not be an easy game by any means. 8:03-0550 for your questions, comments, opinions on Sunday's matchup or whatever else is on your mind. Of course, SCAF coming up at 9:30. Stay tuned for that on WGR.
Innovation, resilience, agility. It's how Michigan businesses continue to work together to make a difference now and shape the future. Join us and make your mark where it matters. Visit michiganbusiness.org/radio.